welcome back to the Silly Points podcast. I'm here with Rohan Venkataswaran, Rishi Arjun, and I'm Suraj Srinivasan, and we're going to be covering the third match in the Ashes. Basically, Ashes is wrapped up as we predicted 3-0. Probably going to be 5-0 from here, depending on what team Australia puts out. Solid, dominant performance yet again. I feel like we're just repeating ourselves from the first two podcasts, or for the first two tests. But a few standouts. Scotty Boland, man of the match, 6 for 7 haul spell overall, which is solid. Again, England batting lineup, a few changes there, didn't really make a difference. Wrapped up in 3 days, one session. So yeah, not too much exciting happened. Australia just extremely dominant at home right now. Thoughts from you guys?
I think so the game was yesterday. I think 20 minutes in, Stokes was out, and then I drove to practice. By the time I drove to practice, 2 wickets fell. Then I took a net session, and then so I batted for 15 minutes. And by the time after the 15 minutes was done, they were all out. And
Yeah.
I just checked the scoreboard after I finished my net. They were all out. So that kind of puts in context how quick it just unfolded on day 3, and it was. What do I have to say? Like,
But
it's been it's
the
been a few.
momentum was actually carried very well through. The night before was the atmosphere was electric. I was watching it,
Yeah,
and just the crowd was just amazing. Even I think Warren was commenting on it a lot. 40,000 people.
yeah,
It was an amazing environment to watch. And Boland picked up 2 wickets in 1 over. Took out the night watchman. It was exciting for Australia. But
yeah. Very exciting. I think I've never seen, I've never seen England. I don't think I think this might be one of the biggest lows in English Test cricket in a long time. At least based off Twitter, it seems like everything is being blamed. Whole team needs to be dumped. Um, coach, everyone being blamed. The 100 keeps getting blamed, even though this test team has been
that's
formed
crazy.
for three,
Yeah,
4 years.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think let's go a different route this process. Let's start talking about
Mhm.
Australia, okay? We'll
Okay.
talk about England at the end. Let's talk about Australia, right? Um, Australia started 2021 off not the greatest, right? Uh they drew at Sydney and then lost at Gabba and lost that series.
Mhm.
But since then, the last 3 months, they've won the Ashes very easily and they won the T20 World Cup. I think we predicted the Ashes they'd win, but the T20 World Cup was definitely a big surprise. But yeah, it's been last 6 months have been really, really good for Australia in the two extreme formats, Test and
Yeah.
T20.
I mean, they came into the Ashes with a lot of questions as well and answered them all very fluently. And I think what with Cummins new as a new captain, Steve Smith vice captain, and then Stark also Warren beating him up, answered beautifully, bowled really well. Um, I think the only issue, like we pointed out again, is the opening spot. But I think other than that, they're pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean
Even then,
Marcus
Marcus
Harris.
Harris was able to score 76. Granted, I still don't think that he should be the first choice opener, or honestly, I still do think that Khwaja should deserve a place in the spot, a place in the team ahead of him. But having been the only person on their first choice squad who had not performed yet in the series, and he was able to score some runs when Australia needed it. So it just proved that really no one in the team has had a bad series.
Yeah, I think the three standout things for the Australian team that make them very happy is okay. First, the first two things that was expected. We expected the top three dominate the fast bowler domination, the main three, Stark, Hazelwood, Cummins, and I think we expected Labuschagne, Smith, and Warner to score runs. But I think what Australia be really the three things they'll be really happy with is first is Travis Head's performance. I said this in the last podcast. He should rename. He could rename himself Travis Gilchrist. The way he had played, the way he was playing this series, I think his striker probably 90 plus for this series. So, and some big runs. The second positive is the emergence of Cam Green as a true fourth option as a bowler. He's bowled really well this year. He's got big wickets. Um, and his emergence pretty fitting. He'll be in the highlights package for years. Got getting the Ashes winning wicket. And then I think the third is they received a lot of criticism last year for playing the same three quicks and never rotating. And now if you look at it, Jai Richardson had a fifer, Scott Boland a sixer, and then Michael Neser also had a solid debut. They were able to missing Cummins for one test, Hazelwood for two tests. They've been able to they haven't really missed those guys too much in those test matches, despite them bowling well all the time. And so I think the depth of Australian pace attack has been, it's. I mean, I always knew Australia had a lot of depth in their pace attack, but now that we've seen it and they performed at the biggest stage of Test cricket, I think that's a huge positive for Australia and something that they can definitely start to implement more in rotation. I think I have some rotation ideas I think Australia should follow for these last two dead rubber useless matches. So I think those are the main positives for Australia. I mean, it's definitely a huge turnaround from I think 10 months ago when a third string Indian team was smashing these guys all around. Lyon and Stark also have come back very well after poor series against India. Stark is, I mean, I haven't seen Stark bowl this well in Test cricket in a long, long time. And yeah, Nathan Lyon just looks like he's having fun. It's not even too difficult, especially with England battling, giving him wickets half the time. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Against India, I know one of the big criticisms was that because I know India had lost all their bowlers each match, they would lose 1 to 2 fast bowlers, and even though it resulted in them using fast bowlers who were not as skilled, the result was that they had fresh quicks every match. Whereas the thing about Australia in that series was that, as you said, they played Stark, Hazelwood, and Cummins every single match, and they bowled well, especially Cummins and Hazelwood. And Green was not as big a part of the attack at that time. I would say he would bowl maybe 6-8 overs every innings, but now they have shown that with these people who have been in the squad for so long, especially Michael Neeser and Jai Richardson for 2-3 years, they've shown that they are capable of producing good performances. And as you said, being able to rotate the quicks. Like, I don't expect Stark to play the next match after playing 3 successive matches, and being able to have the luxury to do that is obviously excellent.
Yeah, and being able to do that while winning helps a lot. I mean, we've seen England's rotation policy throughout the year, and it's won them like 2 tests out of 15. So I think, next match, I think next, and I'm of the firm belief that Mitchell Swepson needs to play the next match. Like, I don't think Australia.
Is it in Sydney?
It's in Sydney.
Yeah, in Sydney, I think you should play 2 spinners.
He has to. No, it's not just the fact they'll probably win with 1 spinner. They probably don't even need him. But I think Australia's next 3 Test series are all in Asia. I think they're playing like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and then they're playing India, and you need a second spinner in those conditions. So, and obviously Nathan Lyon has held down the role, and I don't think a second spinner has played since 2018 or 17, where it was like Steve O'Keefe or John Holland. But I think Mitchell Swepson has been identified as the second best spinner in the country, so he needs to make a debut now because it's not going to get easier right now. This is probably the easiest debut you can make against this joke of a batting side that England have right now. It'll probably be best for him to get some experience because he's going to be expected to bowl a lot in Asia. So you don't want to immediately give him a debut and be like, we need to get 5 first and be our main strike bowler. So I think settle him into Sydney. I know they're saying Hazelwood is fit next match. So I'd probably rotate Hazelwood and Stark. Give Scott Boland another chance, you know. Don't want to drop him after.
I feel like Australia, I mean, he performed really well, but I guess the commentators were alluding to this, that he's more of a MCG bully, right? Picked up his 100th wicket in MCG. So I don't know if the Australia see him fit for playing in another venue. Obviously would love to see him play. And
I mean, when there's
performed really well,
nothing
but
on the line, I don't see why you shouldn't.
my idea is play Jai instead
That's
of
kind of
Scotty
stupid,
Boland.
though, right? Like,
I
get they picked him for MCG, but like, you can't just pigeonhole him as an MCG bowler. You could pigeonhole him as a bowler, but
that was the narrative that the Australian commentators were spinning. So that's what I'm assuming selectors
I mean, I
are
don't
also
listen to those guys
that.
anyway.
I mean, to be fair, I turn it off the entire time. But
if the Ashes is still alive, get Hazelwood in for Boland.
Yeah, definitely.
Give Stark 1 match off. He's been playing a lot, right? He played the World Cup.
Yeah, but I think they'd go back to Jai because I mean he did pick up his 5-fer as well. So I say Russ Cummins, Russ Hazelwood, Russ Stark play. Yeah, why not?
Richardson, Boland, Green, and then
they'll still win.
And they'll still win. Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
right.
So, but I think I mean, Hazelwood should play the next match. I mean, he's probably
Mhm.
upset. He's missing out free wickets, right, to boost his average even lower. So probably get Hazel. Probably Hazelwood will come in. I'm pretty sure Hazelwood will come in for Boland. I hope he comes.
Really?
I'm pretty sure they've already. I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen.
Interesting. I don't see how they can drop someone after he took whatever 6 wickets in an innings, but at the same time, he's definitely their fifth best pacer. Or
Yeah,
no,
fifth,
sixth.
sixth, if right.
The Neeser and Jai.
Top three, then Nisar Jai, and then yeah, Boland. So yeah, but then they have to drop another quick too if they want to bring Mitchell Swepson in. So
That's another thing about their
Yeah,
series in Asia. They're gonna have to deal with playing only 2 frontline quicks instead of 3, or
yeah,
they'll have to drop Cam Green, which is probably not going to happen given that he knows how to bat.
no, Cam Green will become very important because he could be the third pacer.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also tricky because we saw New Zealand Pacers in one test match do a lot better than their spinners. Until Ajax got the 10, it was so you don't want to go too pace heavy, but you do want that second spinner option. So yeah, you'll have to go two pacers. I mean, if I remember last time Australia went to India, um, that was Cummins' comeback series. I think that was his first test match. That was his second test match of his career. They did Stark Hazelwood, and they had Mitchell Marsh batting in 5, and then Stark got injured, and it was Cummins, Hazelwood, and then Mitchell Marsh third pacer, and then they had Lyon and O'Keefe as two spinners. So I think they will have to like be a lot of rotation, and they have a lot of test matches next year, so they'll all get a chance. I mean, it'll be Cummins and one other pacer since he's the captain. So
looking at the Australian in the Australians in the second inning batting, um, I think yeah they did have a collapse of certain, or I guess the bowling was just immaculate from Anderson. But what do you think went wrong there? I know Smith didn't score a lot, and I mean, yeah, the only person to score above 50 was Harris, right? So what really went wrong there? England bowling was perfect in my opinion, but yeah.
but I think England, yeah, I think none of the bowlers had a bad day. If I
Mhm.
recall figures, they all. I mean, Anderson was superb. Mark Wood was pretty unlucky. His figures don't reflect how well he bowled, and
Mhm.
um, I take back what I said about Ollie Robinson in the preview. I said he'll get absolutely destroyed. I think Ollie Robinson is one of the rare positives for England in this series,
Mhm.
and I think he'll do a very good job in becoming that main seam swing bowler that England are going to need once Anderson retires. So I take back what I said that he's crap and he'll get destroyed here. He's I think he also bowled very very well. Yeah, I think also England didn't make stupid mistakes like dropping catches and bowling no balls.
Mhm.
Marnus is probably one of the standout batsmen of the series, but he's had a lot of luck
Yeah.
as on the first two tests, and this time he got caught on one. Steve Smith, this time inside edged one, and where at first he might have gone for 4, based on the luck. And then, yeah, the fact they got David Warner out on the day one, end of day one, also was crucial. But yeah, I think Anderson was
Warner was batting really well, especially as well. Like he was above 100 strike rate for most of the innings.
right. Yeah, that's what he does. But I think Anderson, oh my god, what a bowler! I think I think we could transition to England now.
Mhm.
Let's stick to the rare positive. Anderson this year's averaging 11 overseas,
Yeah.
and he's played in
Um,
Sri Lanka, India, and Australia. These are not places Pacers come and dominate in. He is bowling. I think his last 3 years he's averaging like 20, and apparently he's averaging 29 at home. His record away in the last 3 years is better than at home, which makes sense. I don't. He hasn't had like an amazing English summer in the last like 3 seasons, but he's been so good with overseas. He has 5. He's gotten 5 firsts in the last 3 years in Sri Lanka, India. Got a 4 for here. Got 5 for in South Africa last time they toured. So I think I think for anyone who still doubts that Anderson's as being a home bully is just needs to like they need to like get their eyes checked because his average in Australia is now like 33. But if you take out the 2006 Ashes tour where he was like wasn't a good bowler yet, he wasn't international quality, and he's playing the best team of one of the best teams in the game has ever seen. You take that out, his average is like 29 point something, which is very good figures. And you look at it, he's had 3 brilliant Ashes tours now in Australia in the last 10 years. It's just the one 2013 that kind of ruins stats. So England's bowling, I think England's top three pacers have been pretty good. Robinson's averaging 24. Mark Wood's figures, he's probably averaging like 29, 20, 30, but his figures don't reflect how well he's bowled. He's bowled extremely well. Um, He definitely deserves. I hope he gets a big haul in one of the next two matches. They might rest him since the series is lost and he's such a fragile player, but I think if he's their only hope. But those three, that's probably their best bowling combination. So I think that's another factor. They had no giveaway bowlers this time. Last time, Chris Wilkes has been pretty useless in these conditions. Jack Leach obviously was leaky first test. Stuart Broad didn't have too much impact in second test. So these three bowlers combined with Jack Leach and Ben Stokes, that was probably England's best bowling combination.
Yeah, I actually think when Jack Leach came on, Roots Field was, I think they had three deep fielders on the leg side for left-hand batsman, or on the offside.
I didn't watch
So yeah, I mean, I think that was a good plan to at least introduce Leach into the attack, because the Australians made it very clear that they wanted to attack Leach's bowling right when he got on. So
Yeah.
giving him time to settle in and find his line and length, I think that really made a difference for Leach as well. And
it was also good that their three best batsmen were out. Smith, Labuschagne, and Warner are out. Like he
yes,
really
of course,
delayed,
yeah.
really, especially Warner, because Warner's the one who really went after Leach, and
Mhm.
yeah. So
I think one thing that England showed in this match at least was that the reason why these matches, it's not just the reason why they lost all three matches, but the reason why none of these matches have been particularly close is not entirely because they bowled badly. Yeah, they weren't bowling full enough in the first couple of matches for sure, but at least they showed that they were capable of getting Australia out for a decently low total. But even after that, their batting has just been abysmal. When Chris Wilkes is the third best batter on your team, there's something wrong.
I mean, Abysmal might even be too soft to explain it. I mean, first off, I said this in the last podcast. I know Rory Burns has been pretty poor, but like you're not dropping him for a dude who averages 10 this year.
I agree. I thought that Burns and Hamid, I know you said this in the group chat, Burns and Hamid is probably the best opening pair that England has at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, even like Dom Sibley is fine too, but not Zach Crawley. He's not test level. Like he's not proven himself at a first class level. How the hell he's gonna play Australia? Like Rory Burns, Hamid, Dom Sibley, Dan Lawrence, Ollie Pope. These are the best England options have. They've been the finds of county cricket. So it's like that one I can't blame selection for it. That makes sense. Like you have to play these guys. There's no one backing. There's no one in the backup. But I mean, they've all been poor. I mean, like outside of Root and then Milan in the first test, they've all been poor. Stokes has been very disappointing this series as well.
I mean, to be fair, when you're watching him, he looks set from ball one, I think, and he's playing the ball really well. He played some straight drives that were classy. So I mean, I don't know. He got a beautiful delivery from start today though, or
Yeah,
whenever the match was yesterday.
yeah, but like
So
his strike rate is all. He's a very positive, aggressive batsman. But his strike rate of the series is 28.
Yeah, when you come in at 50 for 3, I mean 50 for 4 or whatever, then what can you do, right?
I mean, that's also a very valid point. But I still have seen Stokes counterattack, not counterattack like what Travis Head did in the first two tests, but like at least he'll play at his own tempo and he can get the scoreboard moving. He definitely looks like he's missing match practice time. But like he's not. This is his first test match in a while. But like I thought a player of him. I mean, I considered that when we talked about the series or in our series preview. But I still think a player like him can overcome something like that because he's just that good of a player. Like he's supposed to be the best all rounder in the world. But and I mean he on debut, right? He scored in these conditions 8 years ago. So I thought he'd have a better series. I think it's high time England dumped Joss Butler. Like
yes.
It's like
I thought the changes England made to their batting lineup during the past match were all really bad. Ollie Pope, though he hasn't been amazing, has been like their third best batter in this year. And the worst thing they did was they shipped Ben Foakes back to England because they canceled the England Lions tour instead of keeping him in the squad. So now they either have Butler or Bairstow as a backup keeper. And even then, I would rather have Bairstow as the keeper and Butler out of the team.
I mean, both Butler and Bairstow are also proven failures. Ben Foakes needs to be the permanent keeper. I mean,
I think Foakes is like one of the best technical keepers in the world. In fact, he might be the best, and he bats well.
Oh, dude, our president's gonna kill you if you say that.
Saha's number 2.
Oh, you're dead. You're like definitely out of Cal cricket after this.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. No, but like Okay, but here's the argument where Ben Fox has always been, oh, he's not as good as a batsman, but there's like no evidence for that now. Butler and
He
Bear,
averages like 40 or something in test matches in the limited opportunities he's gotten.
yeah, and he's done decently well. I don't think Ben Fox is the solution to England's batting problems, but I think he's a way better keeper than Butler and Bear, and I think he'll give the same number of runs. He might give it at a slower strike rate, but that's not a big deal right now. So, I think Butler and Bairstow are going to be axed after this series. I think because Bairstow has been axed and been given comeback and failed. He's only played one match this series, but like still, like
He was one of their better batters in the first innings, though. He scored 35 or something.
right. But he's not a long-term fix. Like,
Of course.
improving. Like Bairstow, Butler, white ball legends, right? World Cup winners, big role. Let them be that now. Butler looks lost playing Test career, right? Like one day he does not know a tempo to bat at in this format. Like he tries to when he tries to be too defensive, it's like certainly bad batting, and he just like can't get runs, and then he eventually tries to go for runs and gets out, and then getting caught at deep square leg off the off spinner last over for a tee when your team's struggling is just like how are you a potential vice captain of this side? I think is he vice captain?
Or might be.
He's
or
one.
might know Stokes is the vice captain.
Stokes is vice.
But he's a senior player, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
He's a senior player. He's played international career for like 10 years now. So like something like that, like, and he's scored runs since like 2018. So like I think those two are both axed. Butler and Bairstow.
I like Pope as a player. His first class average is really, really high. I do think he should be given more opportunities, and I also didn't think he batted awfully in the first match.
Yeah, he got like a 30, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the issue is he gets out to like nothing shots basically. It's like he's just fishing outside off stump, and then it's
He's
Like
also-
Rahane.
But he's also like the
yeah,
worst.
basically. Yeah.
Such a shit.
It's a good
player to
equivalent.
spin. Wait, he is goddamn an awful player to spin though. At least most of these players are like okay players to spin. He is the worst in this team. Him or Dom Sibley. Like in all the England bats that played this year, he is like he is so finicky when he's played Nathan Lyon or Ashwin earlier this year, and Buldenia or even Ajaz Patel. So that's just the one thing. And I mean his first class average, he bats at 6 at first class level. And I remember when he was given a debut at 4, everyone was criticizing that move. Was like, oh come on, he bats at 6 county. How is he going to bat at 4 in a test match? But like, if you're batting 6 at county, you're probably facing very tired bowling. You're probably facing the spinners, which on England wickets is not a big threat. So I think his first class average, it might be a little misleading now, especially because we've clearly seen he's not test level based off what he's played like what 20 plus test matches now. So he's clearly not test level. And when he batted at 4, everyone was like, this is way too big of a thing. But like 4 is not even that high. Like 4 is middle order.
Okay, when looking at this lineup though for batting, it's a fairly young lineup. So I mean, to give this much criticism to a lineup that's basically debuting in Australia, it seems a bit unfair. But again, England don't have any other options. But I'm thinking in a few years England would be.
Why is it
a
young?
test lineup.
Why is
That's
it
the
young?
hope.
I mean, you have Hamid, and then Crawley. I guess he just came into the side, and then Pope is extremely young.
But who did these
I
guys
can see-
replace?
Huh?
They didn't replace like England legends. or
Yeah, I
something.
get that.
They
So,
replaced
I mean,
young players that are failing. You look at 2017 Ashes tour. You got what Stoneman, Vince, Milan was there and then got dropped. So all these guys were done. Then they've tried a few other options. They've had a billion second openers alongside Alistair Cook before Rory Burns kind of seal the spot.
I think it was like 18 and 12 years or something like
18
that.
and 12 years, yeah. You probably like 15. I'm sure like Butler, Stokes have opened for like certain scenarios, but so it's not like South Africa where you have a bunch of players replacing AB de Villiers, Hashim Amlafatu. These guys are replacing other players that have failed. So that means the test system is clearly not working, right? The recovery period for England would have been 2015, 16, because after that 2013 tour, that's when their golden team was destroyed, right? KP was gone, Cook was never the same player, Strauss was gone, Pryor, Ian Bell. But now it's 8 years later, and they've never had that constant test team, simply because guys come in, they don't score runs, they get dropped. Sometimes they get replaced, sometimes they have to come back again because they lose options. Giroud and Ben Stokes are the only batsmen who have been produced in the last 9 years in English Test cricket game right now.
Yeah, I don't even think Dan Lawrence has been particularly excellent in the matches that he's gotten. I think he got a 50 in India and a 50 in Sri Lanka. But aside from that, he didn't look particularly promising to me. But that just shows I guess, as you said, the problem with the farm system in England is they're not able to produce test quality batters. Whereas fast bowlers, they have 1,000,000,001.
Yeah, so I think Root in like a post-match conference, he said we did bring England did bring the 18 best 18 best players in the county game, and brought
They
them to
did.
Australia, which I mean I totally agree with. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not wrong on that. It's just they were not living up to the situation,
Yeah.
and
He's definitely brought the
playing
best
under the pressure
batsmen.
and stuff. So it's yeah.
They've brought the best batsmen easily in the country. The best bowlers who are missing are injured. That's it. But the bowling has been okay, right, this series. It's not been
Yeah,
terrible.
it's not been a problem.
Especially this match, it was pretty good. If you look at the averages, right, you could see some hope you could definitely salvage some pride from what Anderson Robinson would have done. But I mean, for for a top 7, you're looking at. I mean, did you guys see you guys have seen the Calgary chat. We talked about it.
The
Extras is the
stat
third
Lakshya
highest.
sent, yeah.
Extra is the third highest run score of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just test match, dude. It's not easy to bowl an extra. There's no wides.
Yeah.
Off the pitch or it's buys or something. So that's pretty ridiculous. And Joe Root apparently crossed Rory Burns second, and Rory Burns, the number of runs he has in the whole year, Joe Root crossed that in India. So that was February, March.
Yeah, if Joe Root had not had probably the best batting season or batting year we've seen in the last 10, 15 years,
Quite easy.
England would have just been completely gone for this series and like the entire year.
What, third most runs, right, in the calendar year?
I think so, after Mohammad Yusuf and someone else.
Yeah. So you have to look. If you look at, well, we can talk about the small positive with Joe Root here. If you look at Joe Root, look at his year. What he's got: 2 double hundreds in Sri Lanka, double hundred in India, 3 centuries in back-to-back against a very, very good Indian bowling attack in English conditions, and he's had a decent Ashes as well. I mean, he's
been their best batter without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be
very much though. But
it's frustrating.
Well, of course,
it's frustrating he's not making 100, but he still averages 45 plus in these conditions, which is
insane.
Still doesn't have 100 in Australia, right?
No.
Yeah, it's tough.
He has like 950s in last 9 matches there.
Yeah, let me look.
Yeah,
I think he's got a 50 every match he's played in.
Yeah, in Australia, he's had 950s in 23 innings, averaging 39, high score of 89.
He had his first 4 matches don't count. That was the Mitchell Johnson series. He was not even a good player then. So
it's even higher than
the average is like 48 in the last 2 series. So if you look at that, he's had a brilliant year, played in all types of conditions, and scored. He's come in at 10, and he's basically been an opening batsman. He's coming at 10 for 2 basically every game. Yeah. So, I think we're gonna do a little 2021 recap. I think Joe Root is gonna be the first player in our test 11s. So
for sure,
quite easily. And if there's some interesting facts, he's also like the first player scored this many runs and also have 10 plus wickets. He's had a decent year with the ball too.
Yeah.
We didn't get
he took a 5-er in India or Sri Lanka, right?
He did a 5-er in India. He's picked up wickets. He has like 4 wickets this series. He had a few wickets in the summer too. Sri Lanka, he got some wickets, so he's been pretty good with the ball as well.
You know, one thing I don't like about this Indian team is that Stuart Broad never stops talking. He thinks that he should be in the team every single game, and he thinks he's probably the best bowler in the world. He's not that good.
I mean, to be fair, he does deserve a spot. Like I'd play him over
wickets.
Well, yeah, but I mean, every player has to end their career at some point. I think his time has basically come.
No, not. I mean, okay, no, I don't entirely agree with that, but
I don't know. Stuart Broad, and he was injured this summer, but last summer he was something else when he was dropped and then came back. Yeah, I wouldn't pick him in Australia. I think his record here is pretty terrible. But they are good. I think he's still a very good bowler. I'm more interested when Anderson retires, because Anderson is clearly going to retire on his own merit, because he's undroppable.
Well, when Anderson retires, I think now you have Robinson, Wood, and then Archer will hopefully be healthy by then, and then those 3, and then Stokes, and then Leach.
I mean, England will never have like a set bowling attack because like in seeming conditions in England, Mark Wood does not have a good record. You'll have Chris Wokes back in the team. You'll have other players like Craig Overton and
Ollie Stone.
Ollie Stone and stuff. Ollie Stone has pace though. He was another big miss this series. So, yeah. Yeah. What do you think England should go in next game as an 11?
I mean,
I'd
I feel like
say
they're gonna rest Anderson, bring in Broad.
I'd say I agree. That's a good pick.
Save Anderson for pink ball. I think that would be pretty good.
I think bring Burns back, drop Crawley, drop Butler, give Bairstow the gloves, bring back Pope.
It's definitely impossible to bring folks into the team, right?
Yeah, he's in
Especially with all
England. He
this-
has to quarantine
Yeah,
or something.
COVID and all that stuff. Yeah.
They're not going to do that for
I
Butler.
can't believe they shipped him back.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And Butler's keeping this series has not been good either.
It's been awful.
Like he's had like one-hand stunners, but he also missed a stumping game.
Did you see that catch that he dropped off Labuschagne in the second match?
Yeah,
When he was
yeah.
on 90.
Okay, well,
That's
to be fair, that
crazy.
was on like 91 and he scored 103 or something. So it's
But
not
still, I mean,
it didn't
you-
hurt the team too much.
No
It didn't
keeper
hurt.
can drop that catch.
I mean, they could have got Martinez out for 0 that game, and they still would have lost.
Exactly.
They would have found a way to lose anyway.
True.
Like,
No, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he dropped the same number of catches that he like took stunners for. So it was like he dropped two or three catches and took 3 like
yeah, but
absolute
if it was,
screamers.
I mean, if it was Saha, for example, let's not give Saha. Saha's a great keeper. If it was Quinn de Kock, right?
Uh-huh.
And he does the same thing. You'd expect him to take all the catches and take the stunners.
Yeah,
Right.
Or at least try on the stunners and maybe not take all of them, but at least take the easy catches.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like, and I mean, I'm not a keeper. None of us here are keepers, but there's been a whole bunch of technical work being said about Butler's foot movements, and I'm just gonna assume those guys are right because those guys are good keepers. I don't know what any of that means. So clearly, something's off of his keeping as well. So, or maybe it's his batting. His batting is like not inspiring confidence, and he goes into the field, and they switch off because they don't expect any results.
I mean, yeah, it's hard to believe that you can face 200 plus balls and score 26 runs and then come into the next match and like act like you haven't even seen the ball before.
Right.
It's pretty surprising. And this is coming from like a major Butler fan. I love him. And like, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty surprising. It's sad to see, but yeah, it might be it might be the best to replace him with folks. But
Yeah. So yeah, I think next match, yeah, I'd get this guy at 6.
Would you give Bairstow the gloves?
Pope at 6, Bears? Yeah, I'll just give. I don't want.
I don't think it matters, but
I don't think it matters. I'll just give Bears at 7, and he can. Keep bowling. I'd keep Jack Leach.
drop Wood.
Oh, it's also Sydney, so you'll have to consider a second spinner too.
Yeah, I would drop Mark Wood for a.
They
I don't
might.
know, who's there?
They'd have to.
Was it Dom Bess?
I think it had to be Dom Bess.
Oh
And-
dear.
I
I don't
mean,
think they'll just resort to Root as their second spinner because
I
he's
mean,
probably
might
better
as
than
well,
Bess.
I guess.
I wouldn't say Root's a better spinner than Dom Bess. He might just.
Eh.
From what I heard, Dom Bess started bowling well in county, and he's not bowling that bad. And he is
Doesn't bowl 2 full
he is a-
tosses and over anymore.
he's still a wicket taker. I mean, if you don't forget, he still won England that game against India too, and he got 5 wickets in Sri Lanka and a 5 for South Africa. And there's so many lefties in the Australia team, so it might not be a bad move to pick him. And I mean, what's the worst? He's not gonna win the match. It's not like not playing him is gonna lose a match. You're gonna lose anyways.
That's true.
Milo tested out. I mean, I don't know what England are playing in next year, if they're going to Asia or not, but Moeen is retired. You need to see who your best off spinner in the country is too, right?
Who else are the spinners in their team? I think you said Matt Parkinson.
Is he in the squad?
Maybe he was on the A squad. Never mind.
He was in the
Wait,
line.
is Dom Bess even in the squad?
Dom Bess is
He's in the squad. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you might play Dom. Maybe you'll play Dom Bess. He can also bat a bit, so
Yeah.
it shores up the batting lineup a bit more. Yeah, I get rid of Zach. I definitely get rid of Zach. I think they should get rid of Hamid. Simply because I think his confidence is just so down right now, and I think you might destroy his career if you play him again. But I just don't know. Do they have another top order batsman to play?
I don't think they have anyone unless you want to open with Butler or Bairstow.
No. Okay, no. Dan Lawrence.
Yeah,
Is
kinda
there-
I wouldn't put Lawrence as an opener. I feel like that would just destroy his confidence as well.
What's left of it?
No, I mean, yeah, I guess then Hamid will play the next match. Or
Maybe
they'll
they will drop Hamid and bring back Burns. I don't think Crawley should be playing though.
No, I think Crawley needs to be. Crawley's probably the first one I'd dump from this team. I mean, he's just having the worst year, and I mean, I think it's proven he's not.
Aside from that 267 he hit against Pakistan, he hasn't done anything in his career.
Right. I mean, how can you expect someone who averages 30 in first class to do well?
He averages 30.
He averages 31 in first class level. But when he was picked, I don't know if his average went up or not.
It's probably gone down, right? Because he's played test matches and average, as you said, 10.
Average 10 this year. I don't know what his overall average is. It's probably like 30s.
Oh, another big thing is England's tail. It's weird to say this now, but India's tail is a better bat than England right now. England's like they're collapsing for like 20 runs. So I don't know. That's not
England
obviously
tail-
the main issue. You can't like rely on them.
I would honestly say England's tail has been pretty decent. Mark Wood has been okay. He looks like he can hold a bat. Robinson has
Yeah, but
probably
I mean,
been
yeah,
one of
they
their
can
top six
survive the number of
batters.
balls, but they score like 5 runs and then they get out. That's what
No,
I think.
England's tail has never done well in Australia because they're just too
Mm.
quick. They're scared.
Would you consider Wokes as part of the tail?
No.
I would because
Well, then
he's
been
an
there.
amazing bat. He's an amazing bat. Yeah, I guess.
That's what aside from him. I'd say Robinson
Oh.
has been
Oh,
Robinson has been pretty decent as a bat.
I got my solution. Wokes will bat at 3. There we go.
There you
Bro,
go.
Wokes will
Already-
open. Why don't you just make him open?
He can open,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, dude, if he bats at 3, he's,
He's
gonna
basically facing the new ball anyway at number 7.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't matter. That's why the batting order doesn't even matter right now. Like, I actually like joking apart. I think Stokes should go back to 6 the series for the rest of the series. I think a Pope or someone should go 5 because he's also bowling a lot of overs. I don't know if that I don't think they'll have a big effect. But I think maybe just play more of an all rounder instead of having to have the responsibility of being the second best bat in the team.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna ask predictions. We all should be. It's 5-0 next. 4-0.
I remember some Australian commentators said they expected to be 5-0 in 2023 as well after the last match.
Oh, I think this England team would lose to Australia. They would have lost the last Ashes too if they didn't fuck up the reviews. So
True.
you have to realize the one thing is England are not even a good team at home when against the top side. New Zealand and India have beaten them this year. And then
That's
I mean,
all order to like they still win matches at home though. That's the difference.
Yeah, one thing I would say is that even though India did beat them, that series was at least the matches themselves are pretty close. This series has been just destruction after destruction, 3-day test matches, 4-day
It always
matches.
went to day 5 for India's wins. Like
Right,
because last like 30 overs.
It's home conditions for them, but they're still not winning. I mean,
That's true.
India and New Zealand do not lose matches at home.
Yeah, but I feel like the conditions are so different. Like they're so different that like India spinners dominate, right? And if you don't have a good spin attack, which England don't, then it's going to be hard to go to conditions like India and play well there. But England, I feel like any pacer.
New Zealand and England are pretty similar.
England, any pacer can come in and do well. That's like the opinion that I have. So I don't know.
That's true. But that's the thing. Their batting should be more used to the seaming conditions. So
True.
compared to like the Australian or Indian batsmen, but they're still get outperformed there, right? And I do think Australia will win the home Ashes. The Ashes in England too next time. I think it won't be. I think it'll be close, but I think Australia will win it, especially with the pace attack depth they now see. So even if like one of these big three is like somehow not around at that time, they'll definitely step up. And Labuschagne's only getting better. So
yeah, I think. Hey, any tail end thoughts or I think that pretty much wraps it up. Not entirely a repeat of our previous podcast as we said this would be, but fairly similar.
We emphasize Australia a bit more.
Yep. All right.
Oh,
cool.
also, can we all agree? Wait, we all agree this is the worst Ashes we've ever seen, right?
100%. Yeah, that's not even a
100%,
question.
yeah.
I mean, we only got whatever after. I mean, out of 5 possible days of matches, we've had what, 12, 11
out of 15. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, out of 15.
Yeah. So we got what? I thought 2017 was the worst because that also was really one-sided. But There, at least there was some fight from England's batting, I remember. But yeah, here this is ridiculous. This is easily the worst matches.
Yeah, did you see Preston's message that he set an alarm for 5:30 today?
Yeah, and then he
And
woke
yeah,
up.
he was pissed at the England for that. That was pretty funny.
5:30 for people who don't understand. 5:30 a.m. like because he's in India right now.
Yeah, India. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I think our next video will be a 2021 recap. We'll just go over like our 2021 test team, I'm assuming. And
No, we're
yeah,
not just we'll cover 2021. Like what's been up. It's been a
yeah, overall it'll just
lot
be
of
a
years.
recap, but yeah, at the end we'll talk about our
We'll
test
combine it
team.
with India South Africa probably first test.
Sounds good. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Thanks everyone. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe and like the video as well. Thanks. See you.